Hello, and welcome to this edition of Construction Business TV Houston. I'm here with Christian Jones, a local woodworker here in the Woodlands, Texas. Thanks for talking with us today, Christian. I guess we'll just get right into the interview.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh yes, thank you so much for it. It's really helpful. So my first question is, when did you start getting involved in the woodworking trade?
Well, growing up, I did some woodworking with my grandfather as a little kid. Of course, it was real simple back then. I made a couple of boxes for tools and real simple stuff, but I loved doing it. And I guess I really got into it back in when I was 18, senior year of high school. I started looking at some projects that I wanted to do, and just with very minimal knowledge of what I needed to do, just kind of went after it, and over time I've looked at videos and took a couple of classes and just tried random projects to grow my skills and just challenge myself.
So you said that you started when you were in high school, or did you take a lot of shop classes in high school to help with that, hone that skill, or even in college?
So no, I didn't. It was just as a hobby. I'd come out here for hours and hours and just added up. I'd do Christmas gifts, and I remember I'd come in here early in the morning and be here late at night trying to knock out different things, turning things on the lathe, making pens, boxes, of course like the week before Christmas, because I always get things pushed off to the last minute. But yeah, I was doing that kind of stuff. In high school I did like photography, and I did one semester of like sculpture. So that was about the level of kind of, I guess, art stuff that I had done, but nothing woodworking.
And for our audience, just explain like where we are right now, because I know this is like your uncle's house, or uncle or relative.
Yeah. So this is we're actually at my uncle's place. This is the one of the garages. So it's about, I call it a 2.5 car garage, because we got the one door over here, the one door over here, and then there's kind of like a half a section in between. And so I come out here, it's isolated from everything, so they don't hear all the noise that I make, which is great because I can be here basically as early as late as we want to be.
Awesome. Okay, we get to the next question. So what exactly drew you to the passion of woodworking? Like why woodworking for you? What was the thing that drew you to it?
Yeah, well, I think it's partly just growing up with my grandpa doing it, and then as I got older, when I was in high school and in college, I would do some stuff with him, and we actually took 2 classes together. So there's kind of that part of it is just having that skill and doing that stuff with him. I love doing it, but also at the same time, it's a lot of problem solving things, and I love problem solving because there's always something that gets messed up and I have to fix it. And taking something from basically nothing, just a raw piece of wood, and do this piece of furniture, piece of art, and just the process of that is just so much fun. And being able to give that to people and seeing their faces when they, hopefully they love it, and just that sense of gratitude and accomplishment with that.
Awesome, that's awesome. So this past past couple months, there has been a lumber price surge. Where stuff costs more. I'm wondering if that affected you at all, or what kind of effect it had on you, and how you overcame that challenge of those prices. If you know.
Well, luckily it wasn't that big of an issue for me. The lumber right behind you was a little bit more expensive than it used to be, but some of the other stuff, actually some of the ash and alder that I've purchased more recently, wasn't up too much more than I've seen it. There's a place in Houston that I go to, and they have some good prices, so I really can't complain with how things have worked out for the stuff that I've bought.
So based off suppliers, do you is it like a specific lumber yard you go to, or do you go to like a Homes or a Home Depot or Lowe's, or?
Well, if I'm getting 2x4s for a shop upgrade, or if I need pressure treated lumber, I'll go to Home Depot. It's the easiest place to get it. But if it's anything else for any other sort of project, whether it's maple, walnut, anything along those lines, there's a place in Houston Houston Hardwoods is my go-to place. I love that place. So I'm like a kid in a candy store out there. They got stacks and stacks of lumber and all sorts of stuff. And there's a place that I can't usually get to that often, but I love it because they have live edge stuff. It's up in Huntsville. It's M&G Sawmill, and they have big old cedar slabs and oak slabs and walnut slabs. And so yeah, those are the kind of places I stick to.
And so you just go up there and get it and just come right back and start working on it?
Yeah, so I slap it in the truck and bring it down and
awesome.
And get going.
So I can talk about this number behind us. I was here last weekend and we were working on this. Can you talk about this project that we've been working on?
Yeah, so these are, this is half of it, but these are the some disc golf sign holders that are for actually a church project that we had. So we had a crew of help out here because we had to make 19 of them, and we only had we have 2 days to do it, and so we have another work day coming up to do the last final touches on it. But I wanted to get it done as quick as possible, and so it's a pretty simple thing. I actually drew up the design, and I have drawings for it. But it's a simple post with a, I don't know what you'd call it, little design on the top that comes to a point, and then a nice Morrison tenon work with a pergola design on the other piece that's inserts there, so it all looks really nice for the course.
Awesome. And was that your idea to do this project, or did the church actually call you up and commission you to do this?
So we actually had a group of guys get together, and we wanted to do some upgrades to the disc golf course, and so I was kind of part of that group, and this was one of my suggestions for it. The signs that they had are just a 2x4, and the sign's kind of worn out, so we kind of wanted to spiff it up a little bit. And I drew that up and showed it to them, and they loved it, and I told them how much it was going to cost, and it was going to be not that much more than just sticking a 2x4 on the ground, so we went for it.
So the church is paying you for this, for the materials and all that, or is that coming from somewhere else?
So yeah, so they're paying for the materials, and then yeah, that's about it. And then we're donating our time to do this project because we love to see the disc golf course kind of grow.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's huge. So yeah, you definitely need to do this. Since this is a current project, do we have any future projects planned in the future or anything like that? Anything that might be coming up?
Always. I always got something coming up. I know just for myself, I'd like to build myself a little entertainment center or a TV stand. Because right now my TV's just on the floor.
Yeah.
But I deal with it. I don't really need a center yet, but I'd love to have one. My mom's got a few projects, a cabinet that she wants, and a side table as well. The side table, I actually have the wood. It's been sitting out here for a little bit because I haven't quite gotten it to it yet. But yeah, if I can't think of something, my mom comes to me and thinks of something for me to do.
Awesome. You talk about these multiple types of woods, oak, ebony, whatever it is. What is your favorite one to use, and I guess, just why do you prefer that one over another?
So I have a few favorites, but probably the one that I really like using a lot is walnut. Okay. It's a nice dark wood. I kind of tend towards darker woods, and it's got some beautiful grain in it and just really nice colors. I actually got a nice piece over here.
Show it for the camera.
And it's got some nice light sapwood on the edge where you can get the bark, so you can get a lot of kind of dynamic in color. And if you get some really nice pieces, you'll be able to actually see some like purples and different colors in it, and it looks beautiful once it's all done. And it's a great wood to work with. It's not like extremely hard to where it dulls your tools after using them once. Yeah,
so is that like your preferred one to use for most of your projects, or do you have to or is that your go-to sort of?
For a dark wood, if it's something that needs to be dark wood, or I want it to be, then my walnut's my standard.
Okay.
And then if it's a lighter wood, I'll typically go with cherry or maple. And so those are like my three kind of go-tos.
Okay.
But I, of course, vary it per the project and all that kind of stuff. But
okay, cool. So you've mentioned so many projects you've been working on. Do you have a favorite that you like? That was like, this is like the project I think about every time I come to the shop that I want to emulate. You know, something like that.
I got a couple that I've loved that I've done before. One was a little walnut box that I kind of actually duplicated off of a one that I'd seen before, but with a couple of adjustments for what I wanted. But it was some beautiful pieces of flame walnut that I had in the shop that was just sitting here, and I didn't know what to do with it. And then one day I was like, I'm gonna build a box out of it, and it's got these real small, like delicate dovetails in them, and so it's all walnut except for a little bit of maple on the top.
Okay.
And it, of course, I had some stuff that I had to fix on it, which is like with every project.
Yeah.
But it turned out beautiful, and actually gave that as a wedding gift to someone.
Awesome.
And then I also made a little cabinet for above my parents' toilet. Might sound weird, but it was a lot of fun.
I got it.
And that was out of solid oak, and had a door with like a nice glass that my mom found. She put in there, and I did it all with just joinery. Even I put a French cleat on there, and it's stuck in there, so you can't move it.
Okay, so the next question I have is about challenges that that you might face with woodworking. I know that we have a challenge we're facing with the current project. If you could talk about that for me, please.
Yeah, so on this one we had an issue with one of the sides. A couple of the templates got messed up, so I had to come in yesterday actually and redo them, so they're sitting right back there, and we will knock those out this weekend, thankfully. So we're getting everything done just in time, but each project is unique. No problem is ever the same, which is honestly part of the fun of woodworking. Is I get to problem solve as I go, and I don't think I've had a single project that I haven't had something to fix, which is, yeah, it's what I've learned is what's part of woodworking, and honestly is what makes it fun.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I'm a problem solver myself, so I totally understand that. So you mentioned earlier that this is a hobby for you. Would you ever consider making this a side hustle or your main career?
Yeah, I'd love to. I love doing this every day. It's tons of fun. Right now I've only had like a couple of projects over the last, I think, couple years that I've been paid for. But I'd love to turn this into eventually a side hustle and then like a business, because I love every part of it, and there's more stuff that I want to get into that I haven't been able to, such as having a sawmill and actually being able to take a log of lumber and turning that into a project myself. So that's one thing on my bucket list I'd like to get to. But yeah, right now it's just a hobby, and every once in a while I'll get a project that comes in for money.
Cool. So if like I said, to make it into a side hustle or a career, is there a way some people can contact you to hire you for a project, and like can you provide some contact information for the audience if they want to look you up or something?
Yeah. So if you see me out in the wild, you can come up to me. I might not know who you are, but you can come up to me and say, hey, build me something. Or my email, I'm always looking at it if anything pops up, but it's christianjones0324@gmail.com, and you can contact me that way too.
Okay, yeah, we'll put his email in the description down below if you want to contact him, and so if you guys want to look him up, put it right down there in the description. Last question. So I know we worked with a crew for this current project. Do you usually work with a crew, or is it just you're by yourself in here usually?
It's usually by myself out here. On occasion, I'll have a project that comes in that either I need an extra set of hands, and luckily my parents are nice enough to come out and help me. Sometimes I have plywood that I'm building extra pieces for the shop, whether it be shelving or a new router table, and I'll have them help me. But this project right here that we're doing for the church had a crew there were 6 of us, and that was tons of fun. Even though I didn't get to get into the really nitty-gritty of everything that we were doing, I was able to help and kind of get everyone on the same page of what we had to do and make sure everything went as smoothly as we could, and that was a ton of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it because I was there, I was helping out. So I mean, yeah, I just want to thank you again for doing all this for me. You know, just helping people learn about the business. I think that's it. So this is Josh Vita with Christian Jones for Construction Business TV Houston. Hope y'all have a wonderful day.